Blue Therapy, Netflix breakdown, love, conflict, and hard truth. So, spoiler alert, first of all, but big up everybody who's joined to watch this video. Please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. This is about Blue Therapy, a show on Netflix, but it was also on YouTube before. And interestingly enough, this gentleman here, so when I was on Clubhouse back in the day, and this is Paul Bridges. He was on the original Blue Therapy. I interviewed him on Clubhouse. So that is how I came into knowledge of the show. I'd watched it. He happened to be on Clubhouse at the time, which Clubhouse is like an audio app. And I interviewed him. So it got quite good numbers in that room. And we had a conversation about the original Blue Therapy. Of course, he was on the show, the original Blue Therapy with Chioma, but probably a little more about that later. But at the moment, we're going to be looking at Blue Therapy and Netflix breakdown. So the show's made its way over to Netflix when it was on Trend Central, I believe it was on when it was on YouTube. And the kind of essence of the show is what happens when love meets accountability. And it's a relationship series. It's got everyone talking. If you've seen it already, you know, it's your typical couple show. It's got good coverage. You can see it's on IMDb there. And like really, it's amazing. It's come really far. Netflix series you can see there, or started on Netflix on the 4th of March. Because underneath the arguments, the tears and the viral moments, Blue Therapy really is about something we all deal with: communication, expectations, and emotional responsibility. So for anyone new, Blue Therapy follows couples going through relationship struggles, guided by therapists who tries to help them unpack their issues. Yeah. So it's not polished reality TV. It feels closer to real life arguments, and you'd overhear through a wall. And there's tension, defensiveness, and vulnerability. And a lot of moments when you're thinking, wait, are they actually listening to each other? You'd overhear each couple bringing their own dynamic, but there are common threads, like a lack of communication, mismatched expectations, emotional immaturity, and sometimes straight up avoidance. So in terms of an episode, as you can go over there in IMDb and take a look, I think there's 8 episodes, and obviously you're not going to add your plots to IMDb, what you think about each of the shows that have aired. So obviously I'm recording this on the 20th of March, so all the shows have taken place. You know, on Netflix, people like to binge on Netflix, don't they? So you'd no doubt gotten through those shows. Now let's start with one. So as I say, there is kind of this is spoiler alert. I'll say it again. I want people to have an opportunity to go and watch the show. But the first couple one, constant conflict mixed with emotional distance. One feels unheard and undervalued, while the other feels constantly criticized and misunderstood. And then one person expresses frustration, the other becomes defensive. And both believe that they're right, but the real issue isn't who's right. It's about communication. Just kind of this thing now with Paul Bridges. As you can see, it's got an extensive media coverage, and this run's got a real therapist. And I'm going to look at this article on Karen Doherty in The Independent in a moment. But if your goal is an argument to win a relationship, loses couple 2, things seem calmer, but one person clearly more expressive. Okay. And I could go through them, but I kind of want you to watch the show and sort of come to your own conclusions, really. As I said, the original series followed Paul and Chioma. As I've spoken to Paul, I interviewed him on Clubhouse about maybe 3-4 years ago, and also Jamal and Deborah. The format was simple. You sit the couples down in the therapy and let everything unfold. But what makes it blown up, it felt messy, raw, a bit uncomfortable. People were arguing in ways that felt really real, and episodes pulled millions of views globally. Now I have to make some revelations, and this is all allegedly, but I mean, the original Blue Therapy, I think it's come out now that it was kind of a bit more of a drama, should I say, because the therapist in the original series wasn't a licensed therapist, but she was an actress. This Karen Doherty is an actual therapist, just for the avoidance of doubt. And because the original therapist wasn't a licensed therapist, it sparked debate over whether it was real therapy or whether it's just entertainment disguised as therapy. But I do believe that in this latest show, these are actual real couples, and certainly J Squared and I think the young lady with him, they're a couple. I think they've got a child together. Big them up. So real stuff. I was watching them being interviewed on a particular platform, but this time the therapist is a licensed professional. Karen Doherty, and as I say, I'm going to go to this article on Karen Doherty. She has at least 20 years of experience. This is an article by Sarah Keenan, so I'm going to go on to that in a moment. And the goal is simple: stay together or walk away. Let me just increase this a bit more. Okay, we'll scroll through. Okay, so we're going to go through this article with Karen Doherty. But yeah, in this series, you've got Daisy and Jay, Debbie and Kelvin, Marie and Victor, Mike and Yas, Damien, Jermaine, Junior and Carmen, and Mons and Shay. And each couple represents a different type of relationship struggle. As I say, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. So Jay, they've been on and off for 5 years, even have a child together, but the problem, they've never resolved their past. There's lingering distrust from previous breakdowns, and it shows in every interaction. There's insecurity, emotional triggers, constant questioning of intentions. They're stuck in a loop. Break up, reconnect, repeat, and therapy exposes the truth. They're not building something new. They're recycling unresolved pain. So the key issue is that they want a relationship to work, but they don't trust each other enough to rebuild it. And then it's a classic case of emotional neglect. So then we come to Debbie and Kelvin. It's a classic case of emotional neglect versus practical effort. Debbie feels ignored. Kelvin's focused on his business and thinks providing financially is enough. Debbie doesn't want gifts. She wants time, attention, emotional connection. Obviously, all of this is for entertainment purposes. So this isn't my kind of, I'm not judging these couples at all. It's just kind of descriptive, kind of journalistic, kind of entertainment, aimed at, and it's all allegedly, because at the end of the day, it's a slight drama, but it's a real show as I understand it. But as I say, I'm not making any judgments. It's just kind of observation of what's been seen. It's creates a disconnect. He thinks he's doing enough. She feels completely unfulfilled. Different definitions of love. And then you've got Maria and Victor. The couple deals with culture, commitments, and long-term visions. Does he really see future, or is it just uncomfortable? I think I'll come back to that in a moment. Or is it just comfortable? There are deeper cultural tensions. I think that's a couple who might be interracial. It's one of the most frustrating dynamics to watch because it's not expensive. It's slow emotional erosion. Key issue is when timelines don't match, resentment builds. Mike and Yaz, more shocking. So Mike's lost his job, built up debt, pretends to go to work every day. Let that sink in. So he's leaving the house like everything was normal while hiding a complete different reality. Yet finds out in therapy, you can see the betrayal hit instantly. It's not just about money, it's about trust, transparency. But yeah, make sure I'm going to remind you again, please go and watch the show. Please go and watch the show. There's a power imbalance. Yaz earns more, which adds tension. Key issues: financial dishonesty, emotional betrayal. The relationship touches on communication and emotional mismatch. Okay, misunderstandings, feeling unheard, less dramatic but still very real. Different emotional language. Interesting. The report suggests they may still be together after the show. It shows that not every relationship is doomed. So the question is, are they building something real or just comfortable? And you've got Mons and Shay. more complex dynamics. There's a clear imbalance in emotional power, low self-esteem, dependency, emotional tension, uncomfortable question about control or love. And then there's a question based on whether the couples are still together. You go and take a look and you do your research on that. I'm not going to go into all of that because the thing is, I'll make a general comment about the couples. A lot of the couples are still together, but go and watch the show and go on that kind of emotional journey, I would say. So there is a bit of a debate over whether blue therapy is real or fake. As I say, the original was blurred, I would say, in reality and acting, but the Netflix version, as I say, does use a real therapist. But it's, all shows, and as is this one, is edited for drama, so it's shaped into entertainment, but this one is kind of feels authentic and dramatic at the same time. So blue therapy works because it shows something most people avoid: hard conversation. It forces people to confront their behavior, their communication style, their emotional patterns. And whether you agree with the show or not, you probably saw at least one relationship that reminds you of something real. So the real question is, are these couples toxic or are they just honest? So let me know what you think in the comments. And that's kind of my run through of blue therapy on Netflix. As I say, well, it's not claim to fame, but big up Paul Bridges. I did interview him. He was part of the couple with Chioma. I interviewed him about 3 or 4 years ago on the Clubhouse app, and there's a room and people asking him questions and that sort of thing. And he revealed a lot about the show. It's very interesting, actually. So let me know what you think in the comments. And yeah, if you want more kind of deep dives like this, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. But do you know what? For now, I'm done talking.